Hello everyone, this is Kris Gopalakrishnan, one of the founders of Infosys. Way back in 1981, I became the CEO of the company in 2007. I was the CEO till 2011, then became the vice chairman of the company. I retired from the company in October 2014. Well, Narayan Murthy asked me whether I would like to join him on a new business that he's starting. And at that point, my perception of taking a risk was simple, right? In the sense that if I join this company and if it doesn't succeed, I can go back and get a job again. I was confident about that. So this was the point I could take the risk. And when he asked me, I was actually a bachelor, not married. And so again, it was easier for me to decide at that point. Keeping the faith is about being together as a team, working very hard and seeing small successes on a daily basis. Because you can't think beyond 3 years, beyond 5 years. Even today, it's very difficult to think long term. It's a series of milestones, and when you achieve those milestones, you feel more confident that yes, we are on the right path. So initial years was about survival as a business, survival as a founding team. The next 10 years, I would say, was about building a platform that will allow us to scale up when the opportunity arises. And then when the opportunity arose in the late 90s, it was about grabbing those opportunities with both hands and building on the foundation that has been built. It was an amazing moment having our own computer to work on, and not a small machine. It's a reasonably large machine in those days, and we were lucky that Myco helped us during those days. We installed the system in the Myco premises, and they would use the computer during daytime, we would use it during the night time. It was fun. Those days were fun because we went deep into the software, modified the software. We were able to take full advantage of that machine, and it was fun. Recruitment always has to be a very carefully undertaken initiative. You have to make sure that you recruit people who will fit into the culture of the organization, who can deliver value, who can play the role that they are assigned to play. So each recruitment is an important decision. Early on, when you're small, you can get involved in that process directly. You can get involved in the interview process. Then you set systems and processes in place such that that gets institutionalized and other people follow that, which is what we've done. Initially, we fine-tuned the interview process, fine-tuned the recruitment process. Later on, we systemized it. We said that we will have an entry-level test to filter out a certain number of people, and then they will get interviewed before they are selected. So that whole process ensures that the people fit into the Infosys context. So this was all about the right processes for Infosys. Now, will it be same for another company? The part that will be same is be very thoughtful about recruitment. Every person you add has to deliver value if that company has to benefit from that person. It's also important to know that you are doing the right thing for the person. If the person is not able to add value to the company, at some point the company will decide the person is no more required, right? So it is important to actually recruit the right people also. So the first $1 billion in revenue took 23 months. The second $1 billion took 23 years. And the second $1 billion took 23 months. And the third $1 billion took 13 months. It became easier and easier as we became larger and larger. That was much later. When we listed on NASDAQ in 1999, we were sort of confident that this is an entity that will survive, will grow. Even then, we were not very clear how fast it will grow, but we were sure that this company will do reasonably well, will deliver value to its customers, will deliver value to its employees and stakeholders and investors. Because we had, 1993 we went public in India, 1999 we went public on NASDAQ. So we were clear, we had lived the life of a public company for 7 years. And so we were clear that we have created a viable, sustainable business. Infosys is successful, we are all successful, we have benefited significantly from the growth of Infosys, from the growth of the industry. Having been part of the computing revolution, part of the IT services revolution in India, seen as one of the actors in that, one of the leaders in that, I don't know whether I would have changed anything. If there was one thing I would have changed, probably it was about giving back. I started giving back to society after I stepped down from Infosys in a big way. So probably that's something that maybe I should have started earlier. I'm very proud of where Infosys is, its governance, its value system, its focus on customers, its focus on employees, its focus on being world class. See, many of the things that people talk about when you build an organization, many of the things that we talk about when you want to transform India to become a respected nation, become a world-class economy, there are some characteristics that you look for. I'm very proud that Infosys demonstrated that this can be created in India. And then it is sustained over the long periods of time. So that's what I'm very proud of, and that's probably the reason why the founders of Infosys are seen as business leaders to emulate, etc. We were kind of the let's say inspiration for the next round of founders, the current wave of startups. So I believe that some of the work that we did and the IT services industry did became inspiration for future generation of founders and entrepreneurs. The first advice was, the CEO has to demonstrate high energy, has to be visible, has to be there every single day, right? And the most important thing to do at that point is to be healthy, right? So the first thing I did as soon as I knew that I'm going to become the CEO is to do a health check. Make sure that I became very regular in my habits in terms of eating right and exercise and things like that. But after that, we were prepared, right? Each one of us was prepared. We had demonstrated capabilities. So we I think stepped into the role appropriately. It was a series of conversations about what this company was all about, our vision to create a respected corporation in India, a corporation that is world class, that serves clients around the world, sitting here in India. So the vision was very clear. Of course, we were not very clear about how this will all pan out, because India was very, very different in those days. No internet, no mobile phones, closed economy, no venture funding. All the things that you take for granted today were not available, and most important, there were not many examples of first generation entrepreneurs succeeding in India. But we were ready to take the plunge and do this. The vision for the company, right, that digital computers are going to revolutionize the world. Personal computer was introduced in 1977, IBM PC was introduced in 1981, Infosys was founded in 1981. It was the belief that a lot of software had to be written, and digital computers are going to change the business, change our life, and that was the basis on which Infosys was founded. So Infosys is an institution. I'm very glad that it continues to do well. I'm glad that it continues to be an inspiration. It continues to attract customers, investors, employees. So it's an institution. It has to be beyond individuals, and that is what Infosys has become. I hope that it will continue to be run well, continue to add value to society much longer than we would ever be there. When we are gone, Infosys should continue to do well. It's a very unique organization. It has been built on certain principles, it has been built on certain values, it has been built to show to the world that people can come together and build a world-class organization that they would be proud of. Please sustain that, and if you do that, I strongly believe that the company will do well and you will do well. I can only talk about till 2014, till I was there, right? And till then, our focus on customer, our focus on being a value-driven company, our focus on making sure that employees find it an attractive place to work, creating a world-class infrastructure, all of those things, right? What I talked about when I said building a world-class organization. And a world-class organization is one which is world-class in every aspect of its business, every part of its business, every interaction it has with its stakeholders has to be world-class. And that's what Infosys represents to me. And I'm happy to say that I think by and large Infosys has demonstrated that. Infosys has been talked about, hundreds of interviews during my time at Infosys, after Infosys. It's well documented. I don't know whether I can think of anything that has not been talked about. One of the most challenging time for me as a CEO was in 2008. We had given 25,000 plus offers in campus, assuming that the company would grow by 35% at least, because that was the growth in the previous year. And then the global economic crisis happened in 2008. Customers shut down projects, canceled projects, business shrunk significantly. But we decided to honor the offers, of course in a staggered manner for the people to join. We extended the training to 6 months. We decided to train the people on 2 technologies and took the hit on the margin. Luckily it was a small hit on the margin, but it was a hit on the margin, and that again demonstrated to employees that once we make a commitment, we will honor those commitments. I think these are the things that build the culture, the value of an organization. And I'm very happy that it worked. Company recovered. We went from 36% growth to about 11 or 12%, if I remember right, 3%, but then we came back strongly to 25-26% growth the year after. So it did work, and I believe, I think these are the things that I hope the people remember and learn from.